Goodness, it's Sporty King. And I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, noon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Gift Friday. I named it that because so often we hear TGIF. Whoops. We hear TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person that took their last breath on Thursday or any day before that for that matter? So I use what I've learned. Here we go. I've used what I've learned through Psalm 92 and 2. And that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Therefore, instead of TGIF, I use TGIT. Not thank God it's Thursday, but thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Because to be able to lay down, go to sleep, and get up and do it all over again, that's a wonderful blessing. So I added, therefore, the message that I learned in Matthew 6 and 34. And that is, so don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. You see, the night darkness always precedes the light, and it always gives way to it as well. So I offer first another use of TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. Trusting God is free. Think about it. What does it cost you to receive the greatest gift of every day? The gift of waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. And that still moves us into realizing that when we move the T in TGIF from the front to the end, what we get is GIFT, gift. And what we should be really giving God thanks for. And that is today. Thus, Gift Friday, GIFT, is God is for today. Now, with this broadcast, I'm going to share one of my original poetic messages so you can use it to help start a conversation that could change somebody's life, including yours for the better. Each poem will then be my gift to you. And I'll show you how to get that poem at the end of the broadcast. This week's poem has a little shock value to it. One of the blessings I had since moving to Charlotte is in meeting a young man who I now call my nephew, Jah Smalls, and a bevy of wonderful young poets who reignited my flame and passion for writing poems. You see, I'm a little more on the positive message side now than creating new poems. I had started my business based on writing poetry, but I moved to where it was more so about just creating the new messages. Now, you see me with my affirmations, etc. And I kind of had stopped writing poetry, but they inspired me to keep sharp and keep step. They gave me a flashback to 1988 when I first walked into a poetry bar in Chicago called Spices. I was still working at the Wall Street Journal back then. So I waltzed in confidently with my three-piece suit and ultimately shrunk into a back row seat of intimidation while looking around the room at the jeans, t-shirts, afros, and youngsters. Make that talented youngsters. And it took me 3 visits because it was once a week. It took me 3 visits before getting up the nerve to get up front and read. In fact, I didn't dare get up and use one of my own poems. I created a poem for and about them and used it to introduce myself as one of them. It was called, I Wrote This Poem for You. Don't look at me funny. I rocked. And guess what? We fell in love. I would even later find out that my nickname during my first few visits was the suit, as they wondered why I was even there. But since then, I've never been intimidated again in a poetic setting. Yet I also take it upon myself to represent my old school style while showing that I can hang new school as well. You see, versatility is a language. Meanwhile, regardless of your age, when you read your first poem at Spices, the tradition was for the audience to shout out in unison, Virgin, as a sign of support and encouragement. One of the traditions here in Charlotte is that when someone is reading one of their new poems for the first time, the audience shouts out, New shit. Now, just like you didn't have time to cover your ears on that one, please remember to close your mouths on the few more that you're going to hear. Today, I'm going to share a poem that I wrote and have only read it once. I wrote it in 2019, where I let them know it would be the first time. And after they shouted out, I let them know that the title is New Stuff, New Stuff. Ain't that the truth? But you have to know before you can say that you knew. And every time I hear that chant, you know I'll be thinking of you. You have to know that if you allow Trump to dominate your headlines, you'll miss the subtitles of the Congress, Senate, and people who look like you to the point where they no longer have to stab you in your back because they can stab you in your front since you think they're on your side. In other words, you're giving Trump the headlines, but you're letting his weapons slide. Oh, I thought you knew. Well, now it's known. One of his weapons is hatred, and it's blinding like an unseen drone. And what you have to know is that the battle is not yours, but sometimes you are the Lord's new weapon for the fight. So you can't put down your weapon. It's your pen, it's your mind. You have to write. And you have to know that what's on your right is not all that's left to do. You have to make it through this fight because you have to say that you knew. But first, you have to know. Any kingdom at war with itself is doomed. A city or town divided against itself is doomed. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. 12:25 through 60, 12:25 through 26, Matthew. America, I thought you knew. And when I asked my boy Matthew, he said, meet me at 12:30 because anyone who isn't helping me opposes me, and anyone who isn't working with me is actually working against me. Because what I know is that what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And that's fine. I can say that I knew your shit had passed. So instead of turning the other cheek, I'm going to pick which cheek you can kiss. Because I don't trust that you might change your mind and choose to part my chocolate sea with your lying ass. So you have to know so that you can say that you knew. 45. On this path to doom, you've been misquoted as saying you'd make America great, while in 26 alphabetical letters or more, what you've done is alienate, berate, castrate, downrate, equate, as in all the old stuff that you say which never adds up, as you fabricate and frustrate so many that you've made America grate, as our fingertips scratch down the board. And you won't even let that be black or white because you only care about what's on your side and getting what you want. So as we've now rekindled our hate, you imitate and judicate. Don't pause there. You ain't the only one who gets to make up words with your big league vocabulary and brain. See, when you stutter KKK, you mean cause with a K, you create with a K, and canceled with a K to imaginate America, all right, to the camp with a K, with all the people you want to put in jail. So you've made America late. Masturbate. Since we can't get any love from all of the parts of the world, thanks to from other parts, from all of the parts of the world, thanks to you, you negate the feelings of its citizens, obligate places where people live and work. So we prorate as we have to try to figure out what's on your next move. As we have to try to figure out what's your next move going to cost us. Pregnate and poisonate. Two more very big words. As you pollinate the ignorance behind your tweets that make us wonder if we should be prepared to retaliate, subjugate, or tabulate as we find out we can't count on anything that you say or do as you underrate, violate, and make us wait in this abyss where the resurfaced xenophobiates from yesterday, as your wife would probably pronounce it before she says, let's celebrate. See, you have to know so that you can say that you knew. No weapon formed against me will actually even fire. And that's some shit I knew. So let me get back to what I know. I know that my table is long because my enemies have come in all shapes and sizes and over the years. I know that each of them will be given equal time to stand in line and express their negativity and how I doused it with my positive spirit. Yeah, upside down frowns will start over and make them feel what I want them to feel, full of joy and motivated to get back to work on what I want them to be doing, to use their gifts to help bring joy to the world. You see, they are many, and this guy needs souls who feel they have to lash out because they've been laughed at. They think they have to hurt because they've been hindered. I don't know if they knew they'd be able to get through this new stuff, just like us. And they don't know that if they knew patience, they could just let go of that dumb shit just like that. Now you know, and I can. If you like a copy of today's gift and you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, just email me. And you're not on my mailing list. That's why I hesitated. Then what you can do is just send me an email request to sporty@sportyking.com, and I will definitely send that to you. That's a tech tip, by the way. And that is if you just put in the thread here, Sporty, send me the poem. Well, since I'll be sending it as a PDF attachment, your security might block it as spam. But if you send me the request, then what happens is I'm actually replying to your email, and now your security will let it go. If you're on my mailing list already, you can just put it in the thread and I'll send it to you. If you're on YouTube, put it in the comments, not the thread. The thread gets erased when the broadcast is ended. Okay, but just speaking of ended, just remember, I'm Sporty King, and I wish you a happy Gift Friday and a safe weekend. Be safe, and remember that God is for today. Thanks. God bless you, and I'll see you. Now, I normally don't do my shout outs, but these days I do them on Fridays just to say, hey, what's going on, Barbara Jeanette? Good to see you, fam. Hey, what's up, my sister in Chicago, Shalomis? You are the blessing, Sporty man, with the great sportyism. Absolutely, at every. Thank you for your generous donation to the homeless. Oh, anybody, yes, please, Instagram.com/HLN.homeless-project. Because of you, someone will keep warm tonight. Thank you. You know I'm always happy to support you, Zelda. I love what you're doing with the homeless. So everybody, please, I'm going to give her a shout out. Please go and check that out, all right? And then portion of, okay. Oh, she's doing the advertising. Portion of funds used for Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest on higherlearningnetwork.org. That's what the HLN stands for, by the way. We love you, Sporty man. Love you too. Absolutely. No problem. Got to celebrate, right? Yeah, let's celebrate. That was A to Z. I hope y'all caught them all. I hope y'all caught them all. And then same to you. Say to you, much love. Okay, absolutely, Jeanette. Love you too. God bless you all. Hey, look to be safe. Um, Pray for the people on the road because I'm about to be driving. And I always say pray for them because I know who my pilot is because I keep it right in my passenger seat. I carry my Bible with me whenever I drive. So I got and then I rename my Bible. I name it Passenger. So I know I'll be traveling with the passenger this weekend. And so I encourage you to make sure that you keep your passenger in the right slot as well. God is not good a lot of the times. God is good all the time. Thank you. God bless you. And I'll see you. Ciao.